Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and WOTC has been screwing up so badly lately, and such crazy news stories that I haven't had time to tell you about how badly WOTC is screwing up. Boy, the PR black eyes and the bad news stories are coming out like new sets of magic. It's just nobody can keep up. I'm just one guy. So they did one of those Magic Fests again, except they called it Magic Con, which if you ask me is pretty accurate. You know, because it's a con. Vention. So somebody with the absolute baller username, Christmas Metal, on Reddit posted that they're not happy with their MagicCon Philadelphia 2023 Black Lotus VIP purchase. So they have pictures and they're pretty sad, but I'm just gonna read what they wrote here because this is amazing. I think they posted this because they want the world to know, otherwise usually I wouldn't just like read somebody's entire post verbatim, but obviously, in case you're new to this channel, I'm going to add my take on all this and my opinions. Opinion number 1, WOTC is crap. Opinion number 2, their events are poorly thought out and poorly executed crap, and honestly, it sounds like a poor value from this. So if you really want, you could find out the first MagicCon that they did in Vegas a couple months ago or whatever it was, and people's accounts of that, and how terrible that went. And it was all around, end-to-end, terrible. The planning, the information, the products, them screwing stuff up, just everything. Everything was terrible. But I'm sure Philadelphia went better. I mean, Philadelphia is known for being awful just as a city. I'm sure this went well. So, okay, I haven't read most of this, by the way, so this will be fun. He says, I arrived at the convention center early to check out the lay of the land. I also wanted to take pictures of the Black Lotus VIP lounge, since it appears no one else had done that at previous cons or Magic Fests. I thought we got that from Vegas, but okay. So people could see what it's like. From what I was told, there were about 350 Black Lotus VIP badges sold for this event. Wow, that is a lot. My understanding was those were several hundred on up. Like they might have even been, I'm not sure if it was the top one or not, but they're expensive. Very, very, very expensive. So they sold 350 of them, wow. So every single person I talked to who had the VIP badge here said that after this event, they will not be buying it again. Every single person he talked to. Which, if you see the pictures of the VIP lounge, I'm not going to put them in this video just because, it's their thing, whatever. It's not like they're making money on it. But I'll just link to their gallery if you want to click on it and just kind of follow along. Or, just pause the video, take some time to go adventure through that. Oh, but not only will they not be buying it again, but they said they will tell others not to buy it in the future because it's not worth it unless changes are made to the experience. Link to the pictures. So the VIP lounge / play area, when I arrived, I was very disappointed in the lounge itself. It was very sparse. The tables had no covers with bare plywood, which, I mean, even like the worst LGS I've been to had nicer tables than that. Come on. The nicest ones had like the full 8-foot table, like play covers, they're like giant play mats. Those are surprisingly not that expensive. But with WOTC, I mean, you could have covered every table there with the cost of like one of these passes probably, and they didn't do it. It's embarrassing. It looks like something you'd go to at like a cheap hotel and pay $10 for like a self-help seminar or some kind of like IT training for your grandparents. That's what it looks like. Oh, and they had the heads of screws exposed, so if you tried to play on the tables, you'd rip your cards up, potentially. Wow. In the room, there was coffee, hot water, and a 5-gallon water dispenser. They had Earl Grey tea to go with the hot water. Whoa, let me get my monocle out. Damn. Calm down, WOTC. They didn't pay that much. Oh, wait, they did, and you need to calm up. There was an empty bowl of popcorn and no other drinks / food for the rest of the day. I think my own kitchen is less depressing than this. Actually, if you saw pictures of my kitchen, you see my cooking videos, it's actually not bad. I'd say it's above average. So that was, I assume, Friday, because they said it was the same on Saturday, except there was about a dozen small bags of chips. So, whoa, somebody hit the jackpot at the Costco. Damn. Hope they got reimbursed. That stuff ain't cheap. That might have been 50 cents a bag. I'm just imagining, and then it's like not even a good brand, or they're reseals. It turns out they're counterfeit reseals. Somebody resealed them with a Mylar crimper, and inside, instead of chips, you get really crappy comments from a bad Magic set. Just like Homelands or something. Sorry, I'm taking this very seriously. My condolences go out to anyone. It's just intelligent, innocent people who would hand WOTC an enormous pile of money in exchange for a promise of quality and then not get it in 2023. How could they have possibly seen this coming? I mean, subscribing to my channel is one way, so you should probably do that. Oh boy. Okay, so at about 3 o'clock p.m. on Saturday come some cookies, brownies, and cans of soda. Damn! I bet it wasn't Diet Vernors. I bet it was like Pepsi. You think they brought out Hanson soda for this? Hell no. Hell no. Way out of the budget. You've gone completely off the deep end. I bet it was in like a beat up cooler. I'm saying I bet. I could just look back at the photos, but it's more fun if I don't. But I bet it was like a beat up cooler that they dragged in, leaking water, because it just, got a 8-pounder down at the gas station of ice. It's got like somebody's Sharpie name on it, then crossed off because they bought it at a garage sale, aka rummage sale, the correct term for it, and put their own on there, and then that faded in the sun. And then that's what they brought out for their like $1,000 a ticket or whatever the hell pass holders. It's just a nice little homey, down home, rural, like family get together feel. Just perfect vibes. Oh, they should have let a golden retriever run around. That would have, there you go. I would have bought a ticket. So now remember, they brought out the cookies, brownies, and cans of soda at 3 p.m., but the lounge closed at 7. So like, you better go. But also this was already most of the way through the day. But on Sunday morning, we finally had table covers on the tables. Wow. And the snacks and sodas weren't stocked until around noon, though. I mean, you can't have everything. Like, come on. There were never any restocks of the snacks or drinks, and I saw that they went pretty quickly. The VIP player area was a decently sized roped off section in the main trade show floor near the command zone. However, with it being a distance from the lounge, I almost never saw anyone in there, and there were no special events in the area. So they just roped off an area so you could feel special, and nobody used it because the lounge at least had a cookie as long as you fought somebody else for it and raced them to the buffet line. Well, that's add a little action and adventure and competition to your weekend. I see what they did there. Totally didn't just cheap out and lazy out and pocket the difference because Hasbro was on the verge of bankruptcy. That's not it. So on Saturday, when they didn't have enough food or drink in the VIP area, the staff had a few convention food vouchers to give out. However, they only had about 8 to 10 of them, which wasn't enough for everyone sitting in the lounge at that time. Oh, I hope they made them fight to the death. Go all Hunger Games for your $20 crumpled up food voucher. So, this is in contrast to MagicCon Vegas, where the VIP lounge had coolers with Monster Energy drinks and sodas in them. See, how much could that possibly cost? You get that in bulk. Come on. And they get it from a distributor. Like, if WOTC brought it in, cool, but if you get it from the hotel, they get it through a distributor, and they get it dirt cheap, like bar prices. I bet that's $1.50 a can, and how many people can drink how many monsters without just dropping dead? You know what I mean? Like throw a 50 at it. Come on, people. So it sounds like this person either is familiar with Vegas or was at Vegas. So they say the VIP area in Vegas was also located in the lounge itself. There's a concept. In Philly, there was a free play area right next to the VIP lounge, and they wrote this in an odd way. There was a free as an open play area right next to the VIP lounge, and that could have easily been used as a VIP play area if they just merged the two by moving the damn dividers. So one staff member mentioned on Sunday that later that day was being turned into a VIP play area. More on that later. So then they say the VIP experience is the next header. Whew, I can't wait. We were permitted to enter the official merchandise store 30 minutes before the rest of the attendees at 9:30 a.m. to get our shopping done early. That actually, if you've been to a con, that's like kind of big, believe it or not. However, exhibitors, card stores with booth space, were also admitted to the hall early to get their booth set up, and they had already formed a line in front of us to buy product to bring back to their booths at home, and home with them to sell later. Oh, I hate it when they do that. You always bring like 3 or 4 people to run a booth, and then like 2 or 3 just go like raid everybody else's booths. It always happens. We had our own VIP line, but a lot of them were able to place their orders before we were able to do so, completely negating this benefit's value. Oh boy, on at least Saturday and Sunday morning, Mark Rosewater, that's where it takes a big turn, came into the VIP lounge and answered questions / signed cards. I guess if you're into it, that's kind of big. I don't think a lot of people like him, though. We stayed until people didn't have... he stayed until... It'd be way funnier if I read it the first way. He stayed until people didn't have anything else to sign, and everybody ran out of questions. So he even started calling out a few times before he left to anyone else who wanted something, signed or had any other questions. Aaron Forsyth was also there for a short time. That's so him. There was apparently an art director who worked at least a little bit in the VIP lounge, but nobody knew he was an art director. So no questions were really asked about art. So it's like, hey, I got a question. Who are you? That's amazing. Honestly, I think they go through art directors kind of quick, so I don't think he'd have that many deep insights. But anyway, I don't know if there were other official WOTC staff working or the rest were all contractors. I didn't see or hear about any of the hired cosplayers in the VIP area until Sunday. More on that later. The VIP party was decent. It was held at an art gallery, where there were quite a few original arts on display. Mark Rosewater was here too, answering questions. Gavin Verhey, somebody who's actually might be kind of chill to chill with, was inside for a hot minute. Yeah, if I were him, I wouldn't want to be around Mark very long. There were some other employees of Wizards, but I don't know who they were. The Professor Onyx cosplayer was in attendance, and I think one other, but I don't remember. It was nice to spend a little time there and have your 2 drinks, which were included. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at art and pretend it's important, you better get some liquor in you, because that is a whole, you gotta be a good actor to pretend that any of that means anything. So John Avon, had 2 times reserved on Sunday where he did signing sessions just for the VIP attendees. Oh, so it wasn't like VIP, it was like, okay, here's a card table, here's some chips. We know you're just here to get cards signed and then sell them on eBay. Okay, I see what's going on here. 11 or 10 a.m. to 12, and then 4:30 to 5:30. So the first one was right before and during the VIP sealed event. And the second was after most people had left the con to go home. From what I understand of him, this was most likely his idea because he is all about the fans and doesn't want anyone thinking they had a bad experience with him. Okay, cool. Kudos to Mark Rosewater and John Avon. Really? Is he implying that they modified their own schedule to fit people, or that he came back, or I don't know. So the VIP swag, the tangible items that they got. Next header, we did get what they said we would get, which let me just say, compared to Vegas, big upgrade. So they got what they were supposed to get when signing up for the event, and that was it. Nothing past that. No surprises, no nothing. Which actually, okay, then it's under Vegas, because at least they surprised him with some overpriced gold-bordered crap. I'm not sure if that was actually on the original ticket. They might have said that. Something was screwed up with what they got, though. And honestly, at these types of events and with this type of thing, they tend to sell you the wrong backpack and lie to you and gaslight you about it. They got a long history of this. So the consensus among badge holders was that nothing at the con really made us feel like VIPs with the VIP swag. Let me just say, or the rest of it. Come on. Some people were expecting more things as announced items like at MagicCon Vegas. In Vegas, they received a Richard Garfield PhD signed card. Oh, that's right. And a box of Magic 30. Hell yeah. One person I talked to got the Black Lotus package only because they thought it would get the Magic 30 box, but myself and everyone else assumed it was a marketing promotion to try to hype it up before it went on sale, and we were not expecting to get boxes or packs out of it. I almost would. If it ain't on the list, but they do tend to give away extras, so I could see where they're coming from here. I mean, if they're paying that much, you gotta surprise them with one little extra something, even if it's just like something they could only get there, even if it's a $5-10 item. You gotta do that. I know event planning, just FYI. I'm not gonna get way into it, but I do. So they say everything received except for the backpack and Arcane Signet cards could have been purchased at the con for much less than we paid for the badge. Oh, so it's non-exclusive and cheaper and all available. That's bad. Oh, the staff told us to double check the contents right away because 75% of the bags were mispacked. Oh, I thought he meant that in a good way. I read that 25% of the bags are going to have some jewelry in it. No, we're mispacked. If you have an issue, you got to bring it up right then. Oh my God. What is this, a pre-release where you have a 25% shot of not even getting the bonus rare or getting a die? You got to rattle your box and return it ahead of time. Everybody knows this. Rattle your box. If you want to die, rattle the box because there's a pretty damn good shot it's not in there. And the person right next to you that got 2 probably ain't giving you their 2 dice. That happens too. So if you didn't have an issue, the staff of the VIP lounge couldn't help you right there. You had to go to the Reed Exhibition Trade Show Coordinator Company info desk and talk to them about it. While most people weren't expecting a Magic 30 box, most were at least expecting something like an exclusive printing of a card or something similar just for VIP attendees. It is kind of expensive for them to run off like 1, 2, or 3 sheets of like a thing, get it cut and get it there, but they have done it. I mean, throw it in with a promo order. They have done that in the past. So then we've got a subheader just called Sunday. How foreboding. We had the VIP event on Sunday morning. It was Dominaria Remastered Sealed. Okay, they also gave out 3 different collector's boosters as swag for attending. Okay, but you couldn't use them in your decks. Also, really nice is for the prize points, which were doubled compared to other events. Well, they were just that bad at other events, from what I heard. They also stated that if you go 3-0, you got a secret prize. Oh boy, I hope it's a hug from Mark Rosewater. They wouldn't tell us what it is until someone did go 3-0. Okay, it ended up being a traditional foil, just some totally normal guy's secret lair. I mean, that's valuable, but if you bought a Black Lotus VIP ticket, you probably ordered that. So they go on to say, it also seems the staff may have been listening to some of our complaints during the con that they basically phoned in the VIP experience compared to to Vegas. He put the Vegas, but okay. Probably the Vegas one, and tried to make up for it. But they failed pretty hard at this. People who attended both Vegas and here as VIPs said in Vegas that WOTC staff would come randomly multiple times per day with packs and just start doing events in the lounge play area with the people there. Like, hey, I got a fistful of things. Who wants to draft something and keep it? Which, yeah, I did hear about that. That was kind of cool, though. I mean, think about it. During the VIP events at 12:15 p.m., 45 minutes before the drafts were supposed to start, they sent out an email stating that there would be a free on-demand draft multiple actually, in the Black Lotus VIP lounge from 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. today. Woo! Please join us after your VIP event to participate. So they must have been like, guys, dig up some stuff. Like, to just go to the local, Barnes and Nobles or whatever, buy some crap off the shelf and let's just hold an event because these people are pissed. I've been to like medical fundraisers and non-profit like gala nights and everything in between, and every single one I've been to sounds better than this. Because at least they had a meat raffle and a 50-50 because Wisconsin, and yes, they typically give away a gun as well. I've never won the gun. I've actually won the lottery tree, which is a Christmas tree with $100 in lottery tickets on it. I won that. And a grilling kit. Hell yeah. Already better than Philly. You go to Philly, you don't get the grilly. That was actually the motto. You also don't get to play Magic or do anything, and the tables will cut up your cards. MagicCon Philadelphia. The lounge is probably not nicer than your house. MagicCon Philadelphia. I hope you like chips. While supplies last. So they, in this email announcement, they said draft products will be from recent Magic the Gathering sets and limited to 2 drafts per person, because, let's not get nuts. The issue is this was way last minute and during the exclusive VIP sealed event. It was supposed to be after it, but it's during it. I mean, if you think about, a sealed event running an hour, come on. A lot of people don't have emails pushed to their phone, me included, and missed out on it if they didn't happen to go into the lounge later that day. I only knew about it because I walked by the lounge and one of the staff members outside told me to check my email. Wow, how terrifically analog of them. What happened? When, it just says what happened when showed up, okay, is they crossed our name off a list, gave us 6 packs of Dominaria Remastered draft boosters, and said to the effect of, you can play or not, do whatever. So you gotta LFG, you gotta look for group, you gotta RuneScape shout out who wants to do this raid with me. LFG, I'll trade you a cookie and a bag of chips. LFG, anybody? Anybody. So he says, it really wasn't planned. No one was running it. We would have to form the pods and do logistics ourselves, which honestly Magic players should be able to do, but this was half-assed at the last second. Come on. There was nothing past just handing out the packs. Everyone took the packs, and there was no drafting done since quite a few people still needed to get back to the tournament floor to finish the last 2 rounds of the VIP sealed event. Obviously, it's usually 1 hour rounds. Like, did they think people would drop out? This is insane. So they also brought the cosplayers, Professor Onyx, Chandra, and Garuk, and Aphyrexian, which those look pretty good. I saw the photos, into the lounge in the afternoon for what I believe was the first and only time during the con to interact and take pictures with the VIP attendees. So, miscellaneous. During the con, a very limited edition Secret Lair Shivan Dragon card with art from a very popular artist was given away randomly by staff. To my knowledge and asking others, none of these at all were given away in the VIP lounge. Ooh, so we were paying $700 for access to a private lounge in which being there was supposed to relax away from the show floor, and this caused us to miss out on chances of obtaining these as random giveaways. Holy crap. The consensus from badge holders is that this didn't seem much like a VIP experience to us. Really. We had started letting staff know that we weren't happy with the VIP experience, and people who were at both Vegas and here mentioning the differences. I think he kind of already said that, but he's wrapping it up, During one of these conversations, a staff member said that the higher-ups were seeing the VIP experience as being better at Vegas based on the metrics they follow. This flabbergasted us, which were involved in the conversation. Remember, a lot of these people were there. So the staff can't gaslight you and tell you, no, this is way better. But it's like, well, I was there and it wasn't. Okay. I asked what metrics they were using. Oh, savage. And they said it was issues with bags, the VIP event starting on time, etc. Oh, so just logistical crap, not like the actual planning or execution or anything. I asked if badge holder satisfaction was a metric they were measuring, and I was told that it wasn't. Oh, I wish they had that on camera. I would buy that footage. Get you some of that Black Lotus money back. Damn, bro. So then they have a subsection called staff. On a bright note, the ones we interacted with directly were great, and none of us had complaints about them. I mean, they do love the hobby and like whatever. When they're not on Twitter, they're not being dicks usually, but a lot of them are honestly quite terrible people. They helped us as much as they could, and at least from what I saw, tried to be advocates for us because they didn't like what they saw going on for how much we paid for the badges. Oh, that's terrible. Well, it's Hasbro signing the checks and approving the budget. I'm just saying, like, come on, it has to be. Conclusion. Overall, every single person who I talked to who had a VIP badge said they did not find value in it over standard access to the con. It sounds like there was some cool stuff and like exclusive access to the staff. You got a couple free things at the last second, but like, I've been to events better than this and paid less. Shout out to that cool ass kid I met at the last one. You're awesome. Apparently some of my fans are under 30. Oh, actually, and that other kid that totally lost his shit at the Pokemon event. But yeah, the last fan meetup, which was very recent, I can't give out too many details, which I know, ironic. It got pretty wild. The tacos are pretty good. Music was dope. We didn't end up playing sports. I lost that Magic by one turn, and it was just a bunch of fat middle-aged autistic guys like me. So, there you go. Still better than the Philly con, because you know why? Because those tacos were really good. And honestly, if you think about it, the entire event was a VIP event because the only way you were getting there is if you knew someone who knew someone or I really trusted you. Very few invites went out. So back to Philly, he says the lounge wasn't really worth it because the convention space was so large that there was always space on the show floor to sit sit at a table by yourself if you wanted. I have a feeling attendance wasn't that good either, just saying. Except for the backpack, nothing really special in it, by the way, and arcane signet cards, everything else could have been purchased for retail for much less than the extra price of the badge. From what we were told, the metrics they use were showing that this, well, see, he's repeating himself because it's a different section, but okay, I'll just skip this. So yeah, again, people said they're at any other con, they're not going to buy the same thing, so there you go. Most of them are probably telling the truth, too, because if you're disappointed and feel like you got a bad value for your money, it almost doesn't matter how much money you have or whatever. Like, people don't throw away their money on, like, an experience type thing and have it go badly and then do it again. That just doesn't happen. That's kind of like sales and marketing 101. You got to make your big baller customers feel good. Whatever it is, an email, a card, just whatever you got to do to make them stand out while spending as little as possible. I mean, it's not stupid, you know. If they're handing you a large amount of money, you don't just blow the whole margin. Like, that's where your money comes from. But still, this is one con. I mean, they could release one master set and make like $10 to $50 million, from my understanding. If you add up everybody there and the tickets were a couple $100 or whatever, like difference, like multiply that out times 350 people. That is not a lot of money. It is a very insignificant amount unless you're looking at the event isolated and you're going to say, what was the profitability of it as a standalone event? Which you shouldn't. I mean, you should attempt to break even and then just call it like almost like a not a waste of time and not like a non-profitable product that you need to get rid of, but like a marketing experience and like it's not the halo effect, but something like that. It's a word of mouth, like direct intangibles or whatever thing where you just do it as long as you don't massively lose money on it. You're like, okay, we broke even and it was cool and it was fun and the staff enjoyed themselves and the people liked it and it's positivity on social media and it's good PR. Like that's what you do with one of these events. So since tickets are not selling the way they used to from what I heard, cutting the money from the people who give you the highest amount is not smart for the future. But remember, WOTC's policy in the last 3 years is screw the future. We make money now, worry about the future later. Also, oh, my boss found my resume on the printer. Golden parachute out the window strategy, okay? That's what that is. Make it look real good in the short term, burn it out, say it wasn't your fault, put it on your resume, and then go work somewhere bigger. That is how these execs do it. Thanks a lot, Chris Cox, you absolute dickbag. So People Talking said the tangibles and intangibles weren't good. And then he said they even got to discussing low-cost ideas that would make people feel more like VIPs. Yeah, low cost. It's just low effort is the problem. Bad planning and low effort. Well, historically, that's also how WOTC does basically everything. I mean, the translations, the card quality, the printing, the proofing, the playtesting, the band decisions, they do not put in a full effort on anything. They just don't. And with how much money they make, even back when the company was doing well, that is an embarrassment. The typos on the cards, come on. There's no excuse for that. He does just end the post with, hey, if you decide to try to dig your way out of this, and you want to send out some kind of exclusive promo after the fact, and pretend like you were going to do that all along, you have our mailing addresses. And that's the end of the post. So somebody basically replied with a comment saying like, oh, people have short memories, blah, 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 blah. And then the OP comes in and says, yeah, but now though, if people search about the Black Lotus VIP, this thread will come up. That's a bitch, isn't it? Everybody's quoting the statement where they're like, does customer satisfaction come into play? And they told them flat out no. Somebody even summarized it as, do you care about our opinions? No. People are comparing it to like industry shows and like destination shows that they try to pass off as training. Yeah, in the IT world, I know all about those. And they're like bare minimum, it's like catering and staff there to like fetch you stuff. Not like Butlers, this is like if you need something, you know? Like if you're like, hey, can you get a refill on this? Hey, this is running out. Hey, where's this? Where's that? Like just people were at least there and they had like table covers. So a little twist, the OP says, from being on both sides as a trade show coordinator and as an attendee. Oh yes, so they are also, like me, not new to large-scale convention center events planning and that kind of stuff and coordinating. Okay, so we didn't like that people were standing outside in lines because they were supposed to get in, but they lined up earlier at this one event that I was coordinating. This is me personally. So we grabbed a bag of candy from behind one of the booths where we were friends with the people. We're like, hey, we'll reimburse it, we'll replace it. And they're like, don't worry, we brought way too much. It's like our 5th show this month that we got too much. People aren't taking it. Everybody's on a diet all of a sudden. And we're like, okay, cool. So then we went outside and we kind of just set up like a real quick loudspeaker thing and just started slingshotting candy into the crowd for 20 minutes. People were going nuts. We were hyping it up. We were running down the lines, high-fiving people. That literally cost us nothing. And I guess physically it cost us about $5 in inventory. And a little bit of our time and everything was already going great and everything was fine. So me and one other person were like hype, man, getting people, super amped to get in with that simple of a thing. That was just on the fly. You just put in one person or 2 people or 3 people that give a crap, and that's what you get out of it, is these little, let's bring up the mood. Hey, here's an idea. Here's a little thing. We got a little budget. We got a little leeway. We got a little side thing. We noticed like a spin the wheel, get a prize thing was a pinch point at the entrance. So we're just like, no, scratch that. Boom, move it. Do it later. Delay it. Move it to the other side of the convention center. Put it in the corner. We got to do something. Go. Kept the line moving. It's that kind of thing. So one of the events, half the bubblers went down. So we just said, go, runner, because we have runners, because we know what we're doing. Go get, I don't know, $50 worth of cases of water. Literally stacked them next to the bubblers and taped a sign to the wall that said free. Cost us like 33 cents a bottle. And people are like, oh, free water, cool. I mean, you don't want people to leave or be uncomfortable. Like, I'm thirsty, I want to leave. Oh, look at the line for the vendor, which is artificially long because people are just ordering drinks because it was really dry. That's the kind of stuff where I'm just like, okay, putting out fires and like, people managing the mood and make sure people are having fun and make sure you get the positive reviews and stuff and people come back. It's like a little different, but it sounds like none of the staff from WOTC had the authority. Like, they had the attitude and they're like, we feel bad for you guys, but it was the event planning company and the budget. and the location of the venue and the staff there. Those are the factors that went into this, I guarantee it. They didn't have runners, they didn't have customer experience people, they didn't have a VIP, what would you call it? Some fancy French word probably. Or I guess you would have a VIP coordinator or concierge. No, they didn't have any of that. Nobody making sure everything was cool. There was like, I don't know, pay for this, the staff will put it out minimal, okay, whatever they already paid, take the money, bye. Nobody cares. If nobody cares and nobody cares enough to put somebody in charge of these little small things, you're just gonna kick yourself in the balls for $100K at the next one. You know, these people ain't coming back. Do you think they even had a post-event meeting where they said, what could be improved, what went wrong, what this, what that, who was in charge of this, who's accountable for this, you know? Why did this go the way it was? Let's read some feedback. You know, let's go from serious incidents to, you know, minor to major incidents to like just minor complaints or just stuff that you saw that people weren't even talking about. And then you put it in the notes for next year, the next event, and then you improve it. Okay, that's why events that I've worked on are amazing. And they even survived COVID. Like, people came back in the record number of ticket sales. So, I mean, just looking at the photos, no decorations, no tablecloths, no nothing, not enough snacks or food. The cheapest thing ever, where at least you can let people just get totally wrecked on, like, junk food or whatever, or just bring in some kind of classy, you know? You could throw $300, like, less than half the cost of one of these tickets is my understanding, and bring in the entire damn Sam's Club or Costco. Probably a violation of the venue rules, but then order better stuff from the venue. Just saying. All they had for customer experience, like issue solving, was, I think he said upwards of 10 $20 lunch vouchers, and there was more than 10 pissed off people and missing snacks. Wow. If 3 days in, the staff finally puts tablecloths on the damn tables, guess who ain't getting the full payment? I'm just saying. We gonna have some dialogue about that where we threaten to not pay the entire bill if they don't reduce the bill because they didn't do their damn jobs. I'm nice, I give the staff leeway because that's how, you know, you get more performance out of being nice, especially if you hold it at the same venue twice. But at this point, if the banquet manager or the venue manager doesn't even put tablecloths on the damn table and the place looks like you're about to have a seminar about buying a book, yeah, you're knocking a couple hundred off that. And by the way, the last thing I want to point out is that he, according to the OP's statement, they did not sell out of VIP passes. They were still for sale right before the con. So you could pick one up. I thought he was going to say at the con. But see, then people could have seen the lounge and decided, you know what, maybe not. They didn't even have mood lighting in this place. They didn't bring in up lighting, you know, rent that for, it's usually like $800 a room. It's actually kind of high, but still. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's, I don't know, staff signatures, tables, chips, bye. Thanks for the money. I don't know how these out-of-touch idiots who have clearly never, like, planned anything in their life are just like, oh, well, they're super fans anyway. They'll be happy with anything. They'll just be, Mark Rosewater's there. What else do you need? Not tablecloths. You know, why spend more on fancy stuff when they're just here for the magic content and the people, which I could see that if it's their very first event. It is not, after 30 years, their very first event. And those Reed, whoever the hell people aren't new to this either. I looked them up. So the actual like coordinators and stuff, boy, they must have just gotten Hasbro's proposed budget and just said, oh God, okay, well, okay. All I see under is a really small number and I don't see any line items. I read them all. I don't see any line items that say I have to give a shit. So, you know, I'd take out the stacking chairs and put out the folding chairs, put out the lawn chairs. This is Hasbro money. This ain't like big corporation money. It's like, oh, Twitter's coming to town after this. Sit on a rock, you broke bastards. We're going to need all that money up front. I don't think you're good for it. So if you think this event was bad, try like the really big, important tournaments. Even worse. That's why I say I recommend staying away from these con things. Although if you're really into magic, it's like, where else are you going to go? Like if you go to just like a comic oriented or geek culture one or an anime convention, okay. I mean, you might see some magic stuff. I was chilling with like the 2 magic vendors at the last one I went to. Shout out to the vendor that realized I was, a big rich and famous, or well, one of the 2, YouTuber covering magic and then tried to sell me the Drizzt Erden statue for like $3K. Dude, if I had it, and if I ever showed my face on webcam, he'd be right behind me right now. And that's the kind of like dumb fun stuff, you know, even like the real vendor heavy, like, ooh, $5 to get in, just who cares cons put together by some local company, like one guy. I've been to a lot of those and they are fun because it's the people, it's the socializing, cool. So if WOTC thought they could pull that off, they just didn't. It's just the logistics of like where they put the stuff, the scheduling, the like separation. This is basic stuff for like people flow and what should be next to what, and like that's the production company's thing. That's the coordinators. That's who they hired because they knew they wouldn't be good enough at it, but they didn't clearly review it and find any problems with it, which is not hard. And the staff have been to cons before, obviously. Like this just, there's no reason from end to end how this possibly should have happened this way. This is ridiculous. I feel bad for anybody who attended, and yeah, if they throw another one of these, you know, you could take like 50, 100K just flush down the toilet and lost revenue on these Lotus passes, so yikes. I hate to say it, but they gotta go back to their original strategy of just kind of crashing everybody else's events. Like if there's an existing DreamHack event or there's an existing Comic-Con, they just show up and have their own little section at it. You know, like Microsoft at a trade show where like, you can have this branch in this hallway, do your own thing, but then you don't have to sell your own tickets. You don't have to like coordinate it all yourself, you know? Definitely hard to negotiate a revenue split on that unless you're going to be a puller, which, okay. But you can zero out. You could just do like a you cover all expenses, we'll just show up and do it, and as long as everybody's neutral, we're happy kind of thing, and it sounds like that's what they're doing. Mostly instead of running GPs is what they're doing now. So it's mostly just card tournament and then, whatever else is going on. But instead of doing a Magic Con, I would just have a mini Magic Con as a portion of a very large event. Because then when it completely blows, at least people can like go look at vintage arcade games or whatever else is there. So if you want the true VIP experience for, I believe I didn't put a floor on it. So on $1 on Patreon, link in the description, I will send you, usually once a year, no guarantees, but I maybe missed 1 year ever, some heavily defaced, signed, or put a 9mm bullet through cards in the mail. Why? Because it's the cost of a little bit of my time, envelope, and a stamp. But people have said they have showed up to a Commander game with the foil lands with a bullet hole through them, and people are like, what the hell is that? They're like, I got this from a YouTuber for like $6 worth of support on Patreon. And people are like, I don't even know who this is and I'm signing up. So like, yeah, I take care of my fans better than WOTC. So if you want to support me instead of them, please do, especially this time of year. I could really use the support. I don't just mean January and February are bad for revenue. They are, but tax time is not good for me either. It's kind of more like hell on earth trying to reconcile this after getting no sleep in the working 8 hours, but oh boy. At least the last 2 days I decided to cover Magic stuff instead, and well, listen up because I don't usually say this. This time of year is not good for us, okay? Tax time, travel time, graduation, holidays, Valentine's, okay, it starts to come back ad revenue-wise, but just with like 2 or 3 banger videos in a row, just on Monday, February 27th, I made $116.35. Just in ad revenue, no sponsors, nothing. Before that, I was averaging $16 a day the rest of the month, which if you multiply by 30 does not add up to very much. That's why the support from you guys, the couple sponsor spots I do, got some coming up in March. Merch sales, Patreon support, all that, you know, memberships on YouTube, they really add up. Channels my size, especially these days, it really keeps us going. So even if it's not me, you know, support someone else out there. And I'm not trying to shame people into it or turn this into a fun drive. I'm just saying there are better places to spend your money than this asshole company who perpetually does not care about you in every possible way and actively antagonizes and hates you and your beliefs and your thoughts and your skin colors. So I'm going to keep keeping it real higher on YouTube. If you haven't seen the other controversy that I absolutely blew the lid off of with, oops, we accidentally made him white. I hope nobody catches this. I did. 8,500 people now know about it. Oopsies. Sorry, WOTC. Oops, I did it again. Call me Britney Spears. Oops, you forgot to tell your artist that he's black, and then he turned into a white guy, and you're like, we could touch it up, but not important. The race of a character, not important. Unless it's Aragon, then he black. Get out the tar brush, we're going full minstrel show on this one. Woo! Lord of the Rings, what's that? It's probably written by some racist. I'm going to end this video before I get in any more trouble, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.